Humankind has two big challenges in today's world. Number one, to keep developing technologies to help us grow as a society. And number two, to preserve the natural resources that we have on our planet. We have several companies working on a solution for this second problem. But behind the three most amazing companies in this field is one man, Elon Musk. I am Jimmy Peña. I am a software developer from the Dominican Republic, and I have been working with technology for the last 10 years. Today, I'm going to talk to you about who is Elon Musk, why do we call him the real-world Iron Man, and why do I think that SpaceX and his other companies are so awesome. So let's start talking about Musk. Musk was born in South Africa in 1971. His father was a wealthy engineer and his mother was a model and nutritionist. When Musk was just 12 years old, he developed and sold his first video game, Blastar. But soon, when he was just 18 years old, he moved from South Africa to Canada to start working on his degree in business. But in 1991, he got a scholarship from the University of Pennsylvania and he moved to the United States. In 1993, Musk started working on his second degree in physics. By 1995, Musk had another scholarship from the University of Stanford in California, so he moved to Silicon Valley. But he didn't even start his PhD. He was most amazed for a big revolution that was happening in Silicon Valley by that time, what we know today as the boom of the internet. In 1995, the same year that he moved to California, he and his brother Kimball founded Zip2, which was an online city directory. Imagine it like a grandparent to Google Maps. By 1998, just 3 years after the company was founded, they sold the company to a division of compact computers for the amount of $307 million. In 1999, he founded his second project, X.com. X.com was a company dedicated to the financial services through the internet. Prior to X.com, people had to mail checks to other persons or entities to make payments. But after X.com and its merge with PayPal in 2001, people were able to make payments through the internet, through email, or even through telephone numbers. In 2002, the company, by that time known as PayPal, was sold to eBay by the amount of $1.5 billion. So, what will you do with that money? Will you just go to an island, retire, and enjoy all your wealth? Well, Musk did what Tony Stark will do. He put all this money together and created the three biggest companies that we know today, or the three most amazing companies that for me we know today. One of them is SpaceX, the other is Tesla, and the third is SolarCity. SpaceX is a company dedicated to space travel. Tesla is a company dedicated to the manufacturing and selling of electric cars. And SolarCity is a company dedicated to the mass production of solar energy. The three of them are working together to develop the technology that we need to keep sustaining our planet and also to go to other planets. Let's talk about my favorite one, SpaceX. SpaceX was founded in 2002 after the selling of PayPal and was the first private company dedicated to space travel. So, will you ask, why do I think that SpaceX is so awesome? Well, several reasons. Number one, SpaceX was the first private company to develop a space program. Number two, SpaceX in 2012 was the first commercial company that delivered a cargo from Earth to the International Space Station. Another reason, 2013, SpaceX was the first private company that launched and put in orbit a satellite. In 2018, SpaceX launched and recovered the first rocket. Previous to that, rockets were launched from Earth, they went to space, and they were not usable anymore. There was no other way to reuse that rocket. That's why space traveling is so expensive. Well, one of the goals of SpaceX is to develop cheapest ways for space travel. Recently, in this year, 2019, SpaceX launched the biggest rocket since the Apollo program. The Apollo program was the space program that put the man in the moon. Before SpaceX, governments were the ones in control of space travel. But now we have private companies putting more energy in the development of space traveling. By 2020, SpaceX will launch its first human mission to space. So remember, this is a private company developing a private space program that will take American astronauts to space. But now that SpaceX have achieved all these goals or these breakthroughs in space traveling and technology and all this reputation, well, what will SpaceX do? Let me tell you. The long term of SpaceX is go to Mars. Do you remember the Falcon Heavy that I told you before? It wasn't designed just to go to the International Space Station. It was to go beyond. It was designed to go to Mars. The long-term goal of SpaceX is to develop the technology necessary to establish a human colony on Mars. And once we have this technology, SpaceX is planning to build a whole city in the red planet. You see what I think the company is so awesome? Today, I have talked to you about a revolutionary entrepreneur, which is Elon Musk. I have talked to you about an amazing company which is developing and putting into practice new technologies for space traveling, and a company with a huge long-term goal, which is to put humankind out of Earth, but into the space, in other planets. Those are the reasons why I think that Elon Musk and companies like SpaceX, Tesla, and Solar City are the most amazing and inspiring business person and companies in today's world.